Hello and welcome to the 50-cent tour of Wednesday, September 11th, 2013. Please find a seat on the Liberty Bus and we will begin our tour. I do have some information about 9/11 today. It doesn't seem appropriate to just let the day go by without acknowledgement. The first thing I have, and I won't put this link in because this is from my Facebook page, but on my Facebook account. But you can find 2 million bikers to DC on Facebook. I just thought that was pretty fun. It's a pretty cool website and Facebook page. And here's a little follow-up. Bikers gridlock DC, media ignores, yet still they come. So it is happening according to their plan so far, and I'm sure that we'll be getting clips and photos later in the day. And I thought this was significant. RT News now reporting that 9/11 is a false flag operation. It's helpful to know that there is a worldwide huge news organization that recognizes the truth. And this is a little boiled down, about a 5-minute video that explains the information about 9/11. And most of the people who are on the tour today probably are already very aware of this information, but it's helpful information if you want to put it on your Facebook wall or just offer it to friends to help them understand about 9/11. This is also a helpful article for people who remain unconvinced what really happened on 9/11. More Americans believe World Trade Center 7 was demolished on 9/11 than believe the government's explanation. So it's nice that we've had a little progress there. And more people are understanding what has happened to us, what's been done to us as a nation, and how they have used fear to manipulate and control us. Sherry Questioning All has this article, Investigation of Private Video Production Company for the Government, Whitehouse around the World, Behind Ads for War. People are paying attention to this. This is becoming an issue, and it's becoming more difficult for everyone to ignore. And I have a couple of articles from activist posts, and I'm just showing them from my networked blog account here. I have a lot of trouble these days loading activist post articles, so I'm just working from here. Blood donations are potential biohazard from those vaccinated with Gardasil. So if you know someone who needs a transfusion, or if you are in a circumstance where transfusions occur, if you're some kind of a medical professional, maybe you can encourage people to have members of their family donate blood ahead of time when they're going to need it. Maybe if you have friends or family who require a transfusion, maybe we'll consider donating blood that can be directly given to them. That is, assuming that you have not been vaccinated with Gardasil, which I think is probably a fairly reasonable assumption for a lot of the people who would be on the tour of the day. And here is another activist post article from a couple days ago that I just thought was really important one and didn't want to let go by. Study links Roundup Weedkiller to overgrowth of deadly fungal toxins. So that is some pretty nasty stuff, and the article goes into some detail about that. And just one more problem with Roundup, and of course Roundup is manufactured by Monsanto. So flags, flags, flags all over that. Here is an article from Blacklisted News. Government releases NSA surveillance docs and previously secret FISA court opinions in response to EFF lawsuit. So I could have saved that for the good news of the day, but I didn't. But it's great to see progress being made in some of these areas. And I noticed this article from Philosopher's Stone, Apple wants your fingerprints. And I'm not sure this would have caught my eye as much if I hadn't already been aware that Apple stocks were significantly down today. The last time I looked, they were down 23.75. So I don't know if this is why Apple is taking a hit. I didn't look at the articles that are on the stock reports to explain what's happening. I don't necessarily believe their explanations anyway, but I can't help but wonder if the drop in Apple shares is related to this, and maybe people are making a fuss about it. Let's hope so. Smart meters and surveillance, what are your rights worth? And this is an article from True Theory. Where I live in California, they went through a beginning a couple of years ago, and most people here have smart meters. But I am aware that in the rest of the nation, it's more of a new thing. So I want to provide and continue to provide information about smart meters for people, and you do have a choice. The power companies don't like for you to know that, but you do have a choice. You don't have to accept a smart meter. So if you happen to live in a part of the nation where they're pushing this, I hope that you'll take a little time and familiarize yourself with the information and resist. This RT video, 5 corporations profiting from your fear, brainwash update. And I think it's just a common topic now that people are talking about how the government has tried to manipulate us. And one of the main methods they use is by making us afraid. I read something very interesting as I was scanning headlines this morning. Somebody had an article, something like governmental is the same thing as control of the mind. I thought that was pretty clever, and it's true. Governmental. That means, controlling the mind. So I do have an article that is somewhat good news. How to deprogram yourself. And this is from 4winds10.com. It came out some time ago, but it came out on July 15th of this year. It's just an article about how to break free, how to recognize some of the ideas and the thoughts that we've accepted really without a whole lot of question, because they've come in as programming. Now, this article begins with religion. I do and don't agree with this. I am a follower of Christ. I do read and believe the Bible. So I don't entirely walk in lockstep with the person who wrote this article, but we don't need to walk in lockstep, do we? There is some good information here, and I hope that you find it helpful. And another, not quite good news, but I'm ending with this today. People have been talking today about impeaching Obama, just the general atmosphere after his speech last night, and what has happened over the last couple weeks, and with Obamacare right hovering on the horizon. The interesting idea here, and Edwin Vieira is on Alex Jones today, and the interesting idea in this particular article, which happens to be from last June 25th, 2013, is that Obama can't actually be impeached because he is not even qualified, based on his shadowy past, to be the president. So he's officially, in many respects, not the president. And you can see that as him not being qualified to be the president, therefore he's not the president. You can also see that as, he is the president of the U.S. corporation, which is not the same thing as the constitutional republic. So it all becomes it all becomes shadowy, and there are many shades of gray and some difficult waters to navigate. But that's why our hope is in God, and what we can do is just keep talking to people, telling people things are not right, and as people wake up and become aware, we will all be more difficult to control and hoodwink, and we can all deprogram ourselves and become free. The tour of the day is a presentation of She Who Will Walk in the Dark Productions, and we thank you for joining with us for today's tour. We do remember with sadness what happened on 9/11, but as a good friend who has worked with a lot of people who have suffered from PTSD likes to say, all Americans were affected with PTSD on 9/11, and it's important for us to resolve that sorrow and understand who it was that perpetrated these evils upon us, and insist on our liberty. So, hoping that you also, along with insisting on liberty, will love one another and take care. Because, after all, the dawn is coming. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning.